Okay, today we have beautiful Rebecca Johnson here with us today. Thank you for joining me. Hi.
Hi, thanks for
All the,
having me.
all the way from Byron Bay.
Not quite. Upper main arm.
Upper Main, up that way. Yeah, a little bit cooler up there in Main Arm.
Yeah.
And Rebecca is a Bec, I like to call her. Bec is a beautiful yoga teacher, kids yoga teacher, as well as adults sometimes, but mainly kids. And so I'd love to chat about that today with you. So tell me, how did you get started with kids yoga?
Kids yoga wasn't my first venture with yoga. I started teaching adults and taught adults for maybe like 3 years, and I loved it, but it just felt like, I don't know, something wasn't quite clicking for me. And then I came across rainbow yoga, and I'd been working with children for such a long time that I did the training with you present, and I just, oh my gosh, this is what I've been looking for. Like, marry my love for yoga and my love for children and put them together, and it just fit like a glove. So
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And so who did you do your training with?
rainbow yoga.
Yeah.
I think they do trainings all over the world, but they, at the time, they had a space in Mullumbimby, not too far from where I am now, and they held a training there, and it was a 3-day training to teach children, babies up into teenagers, and it was just perfect.
Yeah, great. That's awesome. And so how have you been teaching? So when did the teaching begin, I suppose? Yeah.
Well, I did training in 2018 and taught pretty much straight away from then, but have had time on, time off, and been through COVID where I wasn't able to teach as much, but did a little bit of teaching online as well. So I started teaching quite a young class. It was 2 and 3-year-olds, and then moved on to primary school age. I got a gig in a primary school to do a whole term there. And then I collaborated with a girlfriend, and through COVID, we did an online series where we could email it out to schools and to parents and children, and they could learn kids yoga online. So that went really well for the time of COVID.
Yeah.
And then once I was allowed back in schools and back in studios, things, I went back to the primary school and have done quite a few classes just around the Byron Shire. So in all the little different towns in halls and RSL buildings, and you name it. Like, I've tried to do. And at the moment just in a space in Mullumbimby and just doing after school classes. So yeah.
Oh, lovely. Amazing. And are you teaching, what ages are you teaching at the moment?
At the moment, I'm teaching a younger class and an older class, the younger class being from 3 to 7, and then the older class being from 8 till about 13.
Yeah, awesome. And so what's it like teaching the young ones, 3-year-olds?
So fun.
Yeah.
We use a lot of props, especially when they're that young. Props are just golden for that age. There's a lot of storytelling. There's a lot of like drama elements. You're really just in the thick of it. Not your traditional yoga class like you would teach maybe a teenager or an adult. It's so hands-on. It's colorful. It's fun. There's games created, mindfulness woven in. It's not standing up the front and teaching a class. You're in it.
Yeah, awesome. And so what do you think the benefits are of kids yoga for the kids?
So I think especially for younger children, body awareness is a really big one, as well as learning about your breath, learning how you can control your breath, and then how you can then control or manipulate your emotions, whether you're feeling anxious, scared, so many different things, how you can slow down your breath, come back into your center and really slow yourself down. as well as hype yourself up. You know, we practice breath like that as well. You know, like if you breathe like this, do you get really excited, and do you get really like, and then what happens? Breathe slowly, and yeah, you can tap back into it, both sides of it, as well as just physical movement is just golden for any age. And in my classes, the three core pillars of yoga, which is movement in your body, your breath, and then your mindset. So how you're thinking about yourself when you're practicing, how you kind of perceive the world when you're practicing, and how we can integrate those three together.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, that's lovely. And do you think for the older kids as well, there's like for the primary age children, have you noticed any sort of changes through the term or the time that you've been teaching them? And yeah, have they improved anything, or have they become more confident? Yeah.
Absolutely. I think especially when I teach at a school, because I have them for that whole term, you can really notice the difference between the first class and the last class, in confidence, in physical ability. And I also get so much feedback from teachers and parents. Parents pass on to teachers, who then pass on to me. When a child was feeling angry or upset or whatever, and they came back to a breathwork activity that we did, and they were able to kind of shift whatever was going on for them just by using their breath. Or if they were, you know, feeling frustrated or something, you know, instead of lashing out or potentially like hitting someone, yelling or something, they were able to just step aside, go do whatever they needed to do, get out that energy, and then come back and kind of respond rather than react. I feel like that's a huge one that I have noticed, that children are able to take a minute and respond rather than just reacting straight away in the moment.
Yeah, gorgeous. And what amazing skills for young kids to be learning, right?
I feel like if we all learned this from a young age, we would just be better humans.
Yeah. And it's so nice to hear that this is now available for children, you know, in primary schools and also the younger ones. And I think they're doing it in high school as well. So
yeah. I taught a little bit in a youth work capacity as well, in a couple of programs at the Byron Youth Service, and it was amazing for that age group as well. It's just for everyone, and you can kind of tailor your classes to depending on what age group you're teaching. There's so many different activities and things that you can do. So
I suppose that's one of the best things about you know, yoga becoming so popular, because there's also like not great things about that, but one of the best things is that it's now in schools and there's a lot more people doing it. And I think, I mean, we didn't have, I was saying the other day, I only found yoga at age like 28 or something. And, you know, it's like, I didn't really even know what yoga was. I don't even think the word was in my vocabulary before that. And so now it's, it's great. It's really great to see that that's happening. Yeah.
And I think that time ago, I think I found it when I was like 22 or something. And at that time it was such a, oh, you're a hippie if you do yoga, and like a connotation around yoga itself. But now that it is more mainstream, it's like yoga's so great and so much more accessible, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And so when you're teaching young children about breath, how would you teach that to a, let's say, 4-year-old?
Yeah. So I feel like, as I said, props are golden. I have a few here, but you've got to really visualize something that they're already familiar with to be able to link it back to their breath. So for really young kids, when we're talking about nostril breathing, I think the easiest thing is like a big sniff, pretty much. You know, he's sniffing a flower or like sniffing something, and they automatically go, oh yeah, sniff is, and that's like automatic nostril breathing. And then to breathe out of the mouth, it's like, what do you usually blow? Do you blow out a candle? You know, and then you have props, things that they can see the breath. That's the most important thing. So colorful scarves, you can use these for anything and everything, but it all of a sudden brings breath from being invisible to visible if you can move it, like,
yeah, amazing.
what they're doing, and it just makes such a difference. So for young children, it's usually, in my classes, it's a big sniff in to smell the flowers and then a big breath out to blow out a candle or blow some bubbles or something that they can go, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Becomes familiar to them, making the breath visible pretty much.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because I feel like kids at that age, it would probably be confusing to them. Like breath? Like what is the breath? Like
It's hard to, like, they know that they do it, but it's invisible. It's like, oh, what does that mean? I don't know. And also just anything kind of tactile, can you feel it? If you put your hand up, can you feel when you blow out? Can you feel it on your hand? Can you feel, maybe your breath's cold today? Can you feel the cold? And just making it tactile for them.
Yeah, amazing. Beautiful. And so with the older kids, let's say primary age, do you do yogic breath work with them, or are they too young for that?
I don't think they're too young, but I think it depends. You've got to just gauge it. If you have a big group, a small group, what the group is like, you just have to, as the yoga teacher, you kind of just gauge where they're at. Or maybe you just try something and it doesn't work, or maybe you try something and it's brilliant. So you just gauge that as well. But the same kind of thing, it doesn't have to be as visible, because at that age they are more aware. But at that age, teach them the belly breathing. So, lying down and put your hands on your belly, and can you make your belly move out? And maybe then you can feel it move in, or putting a teddy or a toy on top. So then you see the slight movement of the teddy or toy, and they're like, oh, right. And then I also go through, as I was saying before, like what happens if you breathe really fast? What happens if you just breathe from your chest and you kind of get your shoulders involved, and how does that feel? As opposed to just breathing through your belly. So that's a really good way to differentiate between like chest breathing and belly breathing, is like, do it fast, do it slow. How does that link to your emotions then? Like when you're feeling all chest breathing, is it an anxious, is it a scared, is it an excitement, that kind of thing? And then a belly breath, is it calm, is it relaxing? Getting them to decide what it means for them as well.
Yeah, beautiful. So really asking the questions as well with them. So, them taking ownership sort of how they feel. Yeah. Really. Yeah, beautiful. So nice. And what about meditation? Are they into meditation? Like what does meditation look like for a 4-year-old?
For a 4-year-old, yeah, you're lucky to get them still for a little while. If I can get a 4-year-old to lie down for a minute, I've won. Meditation for that age, I think the most useful thing I've had is making it exciting. So making them want to lie down and want to be still. And how you can do that is make it magic. So sometimes I give them a little crystal or a gemstone or a shell, or depending what the theme of our class is, and making it exciting and saying, I've got this really magical thing. I'm going to pop it somewhere on your body, and you've got to lay still so that the magic can work, or so it doesn't fall off your body, because if you're wriggling around, the magic's going to fall off, whether it's a crystal shell or whatever. Sometimes it's on their forehead, sometimes it's on their hand, sometimes it's on their belly. And making it exciting for them. And okay, well, I want this magic to work. And then the stillness can come from that, or the stillness can come from music. Like lay down, and then what can you hear? Whether it's music or whether you're outside or something, you can hear cockatoos, getting them to kind of focus on that one thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, to kind of just like making it tactile, involving your senses. I think that's
with those young kids. And with the older kids, is it different, the way you would end a class as well?
Yeah. I think in every class that I do, I do something called popcorn, which we can try a bit later. It's a really great way to get them energized and then relaxing. And I feel like that it's so much easier to relax once you've got out all that energy, once you've done something crazy and then relax, because you feel the polar opposites, rather than just kind of like coasting along and then relax, where they're still a bit agitated and want to move. Whereas if you out, then relax, they're like, oh, there's stillness, and they want stillness. And same for older children. You know, I think listening is such a great tool. As adults, we use meditation, or audible meditation, guided meditation, that kind of thing. You can involve even more of the senses. I've done a chocolate meditation with teenagers before, and it's been brilliant. You know, giving them all one piece of chocolate and saying, you know, you've got to make this last the whole time, and you put it on your tongue, and then they close their eyes and they kind of get used to all the senses. And what does it feel like? What is the temperature like? Can you allow it to just melt in your mouth without chewing it, and that kind of thing? And
cool.
Slow down and use their senses.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, the chocolate one sounds nice. I'd like to do that.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so great. And okay, well, maybe you could show us a little bit of kids yoga. Would you like to we can do some together?
Absolutely. I have brought some props along. I didn't know if I would speak to them now or speak to them earlier, but I can speak to them now. Maybe I'll tell you about my props and then we can do something.
Yeah, great.
I think I already told you about the scarves. They're really useful for breath, but for older kids as well, I often use a pinwheel. I've done it with my older class in the last 3 weeks, and every time it's just been a huge success, because again, it makes the breath visible by turning the pinwheel, but it also gets us to work together. So we all huddle in a circle, and I say, okay, this is about quick hands and slow breath. So we want to be able to keep the pinwheel spinning the whole time as we pass it around the circle. So it's about quick hands, changing quickly, making sure the leaf doesn't get in the way, and then long, slow breath, and seeing if you can keep it turning. And they love it. They absolutely love it. And we go around one way, we go around the other way, and then we change people's position in the circle. And does that make a difference? You know, and really good one for breath awareness.
Amazing.
As well, a really fun one for breath is the use of pom-poms. Or another one you could use is like a ping pong ball. But pom-poms, I think, is so fun. We often play pom-pom soccer, but we have to use our breath. So we get them lying on their bellies, and they have a pom-pom in front of them, and they put their arms out like this is the goals, and they have to, with a partner, try and use their breath to blow the pom-pom into the other person's goals. Cool. And that makes the breath visible, because they can pom-pom.
Yeah, awesome.
Another prop that I just think is golden is Medi Teddy. This guy, particularly in the younger classes, not so much in the older classes, but in the younger classes where teddies are just the best thing ever, Medi Teddy is just perfect for body awareness. So I don't know if you want to join me.
Let's do some. Sounds good.
In my younger classes, if the children aren't quite ready to move, but to get them to speak about their bodies and recognize different parts of their bodies, I might get into a pose and give them the teddy and say, all right, I'm going to be in downward facing dog, and then hop into downward facing dog.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Downward facing dog like this, and then I kind of stay here.
Yeah.
And I say to them, all right, can you move Medi Teddy so that he's in downward facing dog? So where are Medi Teddy's hands? Okay, we have to get his hands up like this. And then they look at my body or your body and say, all right, where are Bec's or Sarah's feet? How can we get you to look like that? And they end up putting Medi Teddy in the pose.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, great.
Or another way to use Medi-Pedi is like, okay, well, maybe he can practice alongside you. So maybe if you get into the pose, then I'll prop Medi-Pedi alongside you. Maybe we can put him into butterfly legs.
I'm going to do it whilst Teddy does it.
Really? Butterfly legs. Yes. Yeah. And, you know, can we go into snake pose? That's another favorite for children. Belly on the ground, arms out strong, chest up. Yeah, beautiful. Snake pose like this. And we often use sound and everything, like I said before. So if we're down on the ground like this, you know, what does a snake do? It hisses up all the way to snake pose. So yeah, props are just so brilliant. And storytelling for children, just perfect.
Beautiful. And I suppose also, like, I'm just going to bring my chair back. Is, what was I going to say? It's also another visual, which you keep sort of talking about. It's like bringing that visual element into your classes is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with if you're doing pose and it's got wings or something, you know, make the wings more exciting, bring scarves into it. You know, we do dragon all the time, which is just a lunging pose, but then you can have wings with scarves and it just makes it so much more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. And it kind of, I would imagine it would keep them in the pose a bit longer as well.
Also counting keeps children in the pose, like especially with the younger ones where they're still learning how to count. And a fun thing for them to do is to see how high they can count. You know, do you think count all the way to 10 while you're in this pose? I don't know. And that keeps them in the pose for so
beautiful.
Yeah,
so nice. And so what do you love about teaching kids yoga?
I think that I can be a big kid.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do is play. And I feel like kids yoga is just play, and, you know, adding in all these little mindfulness movements and techniques and things. I can be more creative. I can have fun. It's not how I thought it would be, which it's way better. You know, when I first started teaching adults, I kind of thought, oh yeah, if I ever want to teach children, it's a bit boring, you know, if I just teach children how I would teach adults. But it's not like, oh, you bring in everything. You bring in color, which color is my favorite thing. And gosh, there's no limits to children's yoga. You can use anything. I've been also using a ball of yarn, and we throw it to each other and we make a big spider web, and then can we lift it up with our toes? Can we lift it up with our arms? There's just, the creativity in children's yoga is just amazing.
Yeah, great. And do you get excited the night before, or the preparation, oh, what are we going to do next?
Coming up with different themes and things is just so nice. And especially when you have children for that longer period of time, whether they commit to a couple of weeks of a class or a term at school or whatever, and you can build on what they've already done and then go back and remember, in the first week when we did this, maybe we can incorporate this in a different way, but in this class. And exciting.
Yeah, so nice. Do you think that, but for a little ending, do you think you could take us through a mini meditation, a guided meditation you might do with children?
Yeah. So maybe I can take you through popcorn, which I got before, and then do a little meditation afterwards. So
yeah, that sounds good. Do I need to move from my chair, or can I sit in a chair?
Popcorn in a chair? No way.
I can't do popcorn in a chair. Okay. Okay. Do I need to be over here on my mat?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you start sitting down, you do popcorn right before you go into your relaxation or quiet time or shavasana or whatever you want to call it.
Okay. I'm going to move the screen a little bit. Yeah.
Popcorn is getting yourself as small as you possibly can. So getting yourself into a tiny little corn kernel, scrunching up your toes, scrunching up your face, scrunching up your fingers getting really, really tight. And I kind of ham that up a lot and get so small, the smallest you can possibly be. And then I'm going to yell, pop. And you have to pop open like and lay down. And once all of that out, like 3, 4, 5 times even, then relax so much more because they've squeezed everything in. So we'll do it 3 more times.
Okay, let's do it. Ready?
Squeeze yourself in, get really, really tight. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your toes, and pop.
That actually feels so good.
It feels so good. And adults love it. Like, it's best. All right, squeeze everything. Tuck your head in this time. Squeeze everything. Pop. We'll do it one more time for good measure.
Okay.
All right, make sure you're squeezing your toes, you're squeezing your fingers, your wrists, you're tucking your head in, squeezing your face, squeezing your eyes. Get really, really tight and pop. And then while the children are lying down in popcorn, that's after they've popped, that's when I kind of do a meditation. So
okay,
my favorite one would kind of be to go from popcorn, and then maybe now, while you're still, can you feel all of that energy going through your body? Maybe you can pop your hands on your belly if that feels okay, on your heart, on the mat, wherever feels good for you. And I want you to just notice the feeling in your toes, first of all. Can you notice any energy, any warmth in your toes? Can you notice any tingling feeling? And from your toes, we're going to move up to the feet, to the heels, to the ankles. Feeling maybe some warmth, maybe some energy running in and down through your legs, through your feet. And then moving your attention to your legs, to your calves. Maybe you can even squeeze your calves, just your calf muscles, nothing else. Sending all of your attention just onto your legs. And slowly moving up to your knees. Can you focus your attention on your knees, squeezing your kneecaps in? Maybe they feel warm. Maybe you can feel the tingling of your energy through your knees. And then relax them. Moving your focus, your attention up to your thighs. Maybe you can squeeze them really tight. Notice any tension there. If it feels hot, if it feels hard. And then relax your legs. All of your legs. All the way down to your feet, to your toes where we started. Relax all of your legs. And then moving your focus, your attention up to your tummy and your hips. Can you tense anything there? Make it really tight. Squeeze it all in. And then relax. Make everything soft. And working up your body, moving your attention to your hands. Maybe your hands are touching your body, or maybe they're by your side, but can you squeeze them? Can you feel the energy going through your fingertips? And then relax. Moving to your arms, your forearms, and then your elbows, and then your upper arms, bringing all of your attention just on your arms. Nothing else is important right now, but just your arms. Bringing all your awareness onto your arms. Maybe you can feel the warmth. Maybe you can feel the cold of your mat. Wherever you are, whatever the temperature is, just feel it on your arms. And then relax. And bringing your awareness to your shoulders and to your neck, moving up toward your head. What does it feel like there? Can you relax them even more than you're already relaxed? And then lastly, moving on to your head. Is your head feeling heavy on your mat? Can you feel the weight resting on the earth beneath you? Can you feel a breeze going past your face? Maybe you can scrunch up your face, make all of your face muscles tight, squeeze your eyes, right, raise your eyebrows, squeeze your nose, and then relax. And feel a calm spread over your face. And then I want you to imagine that there's this beautiful beam of light coming out the top of your head. And it comes down over your body, enveloping your whole body in this magical, beautiful beam of light. And that light is going to surround you for the rest of your day, for the rest of your week, in a beautiful, loving kindness. And then maybe you can stretch your arms above your head. Give yourself a nice big stretch and then curl up and give your legs a big stretch. And then come to a seat.
Oh my gosh, that was so nice.
Yeah, I feel sunshine's coming on me right right as this beautiful beam of light is coming in.
Just as you said that, the light came down. Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. Thank you, Bec.
No worries.
I
feel like tighten and relax is so adaptable for any age group as well. You can, that's such an easy meditation to do.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And I think, definitely notice the contrast of like the tightness and the relaxing, and you guiding it as well really helped, I think, for me anyway, because I could, when you said relax, I was like, relax. Okay. And that also really helped too with it. So it was beautiful. Thank you.
Wow.
The kids would love that. And so thank you so much for joining me. And I know when people watch this, they will want to know where you are, where the kids' classes are, where they can get a hold of you. So let us know.
My little business is called The Smile Kind. It's kindness yoga, and it's the kind that leaves you smiling when you finish the class.
Cute.
So I'm on Instagram. You can contact me through The Smile Kind. And I'm teaching at the moment in Mullumbimby in just 15 minutes from Byron Bay at a little children's wellness studio there on a Thursday afternoon. So if you look up The Smile Kind, you can find all the information there.
Lovely. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for joining us and sharing like your magic with us today, and the beautiful sunlight behind you.
Perfect. Hey,
it's so perfect. And I really honor you and appreciate you for all you're doing for the children everywhere. And want to thank you from them. Pardon?
Likewise, thank you for putting this together. Parents, children are so lucky to watch all of these lovely interviews that you're doing. And
thank you so much, Bec. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Yes.
Namaste.
Namaste.